Hello everyone. This time I thought that it was a good time to look back at my goals that I set at the beginning of the year, since we are already somehow about to hit 1/3 of the way through 2026. And normally I don't set like a lot of goals for myself throughout the year. When I started doing book talk or booktube, I should say, because I'm not on TikTok, I mainly just focused on the reading goal because that's all I thought about, was how there's so many people who are like reading like hundreds of books, right? And I was like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to hit 100. Let me hit this goal. And that's kind of how I was going. So this year, if you didn't see, I set some book goals, and I think right now is a good time to kind of go over them and stuff. So I have a little handy dandy notebook to kind of go over the goals I had. I kind of had to go back. I knew some of them, but then also too, like trying to make sure that I can actually like measure them, obviously, is a big thing for goals. I remember growing up and having it where they told us to make SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, real, and like timed, I think it was, or something. Stuff like that. And of course, the whole light. I'm using natural light, and of course, the sun is going behind clouds and out of clouds, so hopefully it comes back soon. But let's start with the obvious goal, and that is my reading goal. So for 2026, I set a reading goal of 90 books. And right now, as of this video, I have read 30 out of 90 of them, which means I am roughly 1/3 of the way to my goal. So I am actually doing pretty well for my reading goal specifically. Out of my 26 books that I want to read for 2026, I currently have read 6. Now, I can't really do the math for that, but I think it's close to like almost like 1/4, if not 1/5 of the way, kind of. So I'm not doing horrible. I do need to do better. I have had it where one book I did try to read from my 2026, or 26 books I want to read from 2026, and I struggled with reading it. I just did not like it, so I put it back down and went to something else. So there's that. Another goal was to try to finish the ACOTAR and Throne of Glass series. And with the news that there's more upcoming ACOTAR books, the sun. But with the news that there's going to be more ACOTAR books coming out, I really need to do better. So right now, based on how many ACOTAR books that there are 5 ACOTAR books, and I've only read 2. By the end of this year, there will be 7, so I need to pick up the pace. For Throne of Glass, I had a video that I was working on where I broke it up and stuff to where I was going to read the whole thing. But that stuff is a lot. There are 8 books in the Throne of Glass, and I have read 5. So I need to finish the last 3, but that is, I think, almost 2,000 some odd pages that I would have to read. And that just seems a little overwhelming for me. But I mean, 2 out of 5 for now for ACOTAR is not horrible. Not great, but not horrible, considering there's 2 new books coming out this year. And 5 out of 8 for Throne of Glass is pretty decent. So, not horrible. So currently, with my goal, I wanted to read more memoirs and autobiographies. Last year, I read 1, and currently I have read 1 as well. But like the way it was labeled or marked is a bit confusing, and when I read it, it is, but it isn't 100%, and so that's where I'm kind of confused on it. So I still need to officially at least read an actual full-on memoir, autobiography, stuff like that. But according to my charts, it did say I read 1. So I'm a little confused, but we'll see. Another goal I had was to read different genres, different authors and stuff. And I am trying still to do that. I'm trying to find ones that I've never heard or never seen really on social media being talked about galore. But I'm also one of those people who, like, when certain people are talking about a book, I'm like, I want to kind of read that book too. So I'm still working on that one, not 100%. In regards to genres, again, most of my genres was fantasy, romance, young adult thrillers, right? Last year it was romance, fantasy, and young adult. Right now, currently, I have had it where I'm adding more thrillers, some more cozy fantasy, and I am trying to get into more of the literary fiction. It's just a little hard. I get a little bored with literary fiction. I want something more interesting usually. And literary fiction seems too much like real life that I just don't want that sometimes. So I'm trying, but it's a struggle. Um, Going into regards of posting, so I've done really well, I think, on posting on YouTube. I know there's a couple of times that I have missed due to illness and all that, and somehow I just keep getting sick. Like, I am getting over being sick again, and like, I'm not 100% right now, so I am still trying to find ideas and stuff. And that's the thing too, is that with posting consistently, it's trying to also make sure I have new and interesting and different ideas to post to keep people wanting to kind of watch and all that. So that's the part too where, like, I've done really well on posting for YouTube and stuff, because in one way I can still kind of use the same idea but different and make videos, whereas like it's harder on Instagram where I'm trying to post but then it's like a lot harder. So YouTube, I'm doing good on posting consistently. Instagram, still a little work to go. And I did have it where I didn't post obviously my goals for followers, subscribers, but I had to write it down because I realized when I first originally I put my goal that I wanted, but not how much I was at currently. So now I have it on my paper saying where I'm currently at for followers and subscribers so that I can kind of keep track of going forward for that. And then another one was obviously improving video editing and stuff. And I have done, I think, quite well. I've gotten it to where you can fully see me versus where it was always just like right, like a little square with the like sides cut off. I've gotten that fixed. I've worked more on stuff. I know audio still has issues. I don't know what to do with that. But yeah, so I'm improving, but obviously there's still room for improvement on that. So we're doing that. Also, one thing I forgot to mention too, this one is not part of the goal, but it's always a nice kind of add-on, was that last year I had only 4 5-star reads, and already 1/3 of the way through this year I have 5. So I'm currently already 1 above my last year goal. So there is that. And like I said, I'm not trying to be too sticking to this. Like I said, if I fail certain goals, like I said, it sucks. It's like, what could I have done better? But it's not horrible in the sense of like it's the end of the world. It just means that like I need to do better on stuff, or I need to find a way to do certain things better. Like I said, I've done a lot better on posting for YouTube. Why is it that I'm struggling so much with Instagram? So, or maybe setting a very specific goal of how much to post on Instagram, because I don't remember if I did that. So let me know about your guys' goals. How are you doing with your reading goals? Are you getting a lot of like 5-star goals? Like, what kind of goals did you set? And are you currently on track? Do you keep track? Or are you kind of more of a go with the flow? Let me know. And again, if you guys like this kind of video or want to help me with my goals, make sure you like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.